Second regular meeting for the Board of Sylvania Township Trustees in September. Call the meeting to order, and Dave, will you do the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Genowine, he's unable to attend this evening. We've been advised. So Mr. Mahoney?
Yes, right here.
Randall?
Here.
Simcoe here.
Can we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is approval of the minutes. I'll move approval of the August 15th special meeting of the board.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. August 20th, regular meeting of the board.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. And finally, September 3rd, regular meeting of the board. I'll move approval.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I do not.
Nothing? Oh, you got one, Neil?
I do not.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
thought you were talking to me.
I'm sorry. Hearing of the public.
Should look that way.
Signed in for the
No one signed in?
agenda? Oh boy, we're moving right along. That's good. Zoning department.
Good evening. If there's no questions on the July monthly report, I'll just go on to August.
I think those are on and we can look at them. We're only going to do July. But they're on the agenda if you want to look them up.
No, August.
August.
Now, we're only going to do August, I'm sorry. We're going to skip July. Go ahead, Darrell.
So for permits for August, we had 51, that's a 16% increase on the number of permits, and an estimated dollar value of $2.2 million. That was a 30% increase over last year. Year to date, we're down 14.7% in number of permits, but up almost 17% in estimated value. Page 2, please, Emer. Single-family dwellings, we're at 66 year to date. That's down almost 32% from last year, and just under $21 million estimated value. That's a 14.6 decrease from last year. Approximate estimated value of dwelling remains up at just under $318,000. That represents a 25.3% increase over last year. Page 3. Zoning complaints and violations were up for the month of August at 40. That represents a 60% increase. That's driven largely by the high grass complaints. You can see we had as many August of this year as we did the last two Augusts combined. Year to date, we're at 158, and that's a 60% increase on complaints and violations. Page 4, monthly meetings of the zoning department. The Board of Zoning Appeals continues to remain busy. They had a conditional use for a semi-public use on Sylvania Avenue, and then a couple of variances. All of those were approved. Zoning Commission did not meet, and we did not have project plan review. Items of note, just want to pass along the proposed residential care facility on Whiteford Road. The dates for those meetings have again been changed at the request of the applicant. We are now looking at the Lucas County Plan Commission being Wednesday, November 20th, that's 9 a.m., and the Board of Zoning Appeals Monday, December 2nd at 5 p.m. And then the last two are two items for project plan review that will be reviewed tomorrow morning. That's all I have for the August report.
Any questions for
I
that?
do not.
Thank you, Darrell. Let's move on to the resolution.
Resolution 19099. This is the resolution the board looked at a couple weeks ago. The declaration of nuisance / authorization of abatement for 8044 Bancroft Street. We, as I instructed the board in the email, we did meet with the property owner this week, and we all agreed upon December 6th. That's approximately a 90-day window for him to finish getting the property cleaned up. And, I'm sorry, that was last week we met with him. This week, Dean Boyers and I went out and looked at the property, and he has made significant improvements to it. So it's up to the trustees if you want to approve this resolution this evening. We wouldn't take any action on it until after December 6th if necessary, or we can just hold on to it until after December 6th and see what happens.
Personally, I'd like to get it behind us. This has been going on for a year and a half. And he's got 90 days to comply.
Right.
That's what this was, though?
Well, this is for authorizing the township to have the property abated.
Yeah, but
if he doesn't do it himself by December 6th.
90 days for good, right? Yeah, this would just keep, I think, some pressure on there to get it taken care of. So I'll move resolution 19-099, declaration of nuisance and authorization of abatement at 8044 Bancroft.
On or before December 6th?
It would be after December 6th. He has.
Second.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Thank you. And then my last item is resolution 19107, resolution to authorize administrator to enter into contract with Reveille for professional planning services. This is to update the zoning resolution. I sent out an email to the trustees, kind of giving the highlights of that and why the zoning department and the township administrator feel this is necessary. So I can answer any questions you may have, and Glenn Grisdale from Reveille is here as well for any questions you may have.
You have any questions?
I do not. I'm comfortable.
This is a little behind schedule, but we all know why, but I'm anxious to get it started.
It's been a long time. It's 1984, 5?
No, this is implementing the new.
No, I know, but our zoning resolution was written like.
Oh, the zoning resolution, yeah, that needs a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's quite that old, but it's at least 90s, and it just had piecemeal amendments
Yeah, it
over the
needs a lot
years.
of work. I was saying this was a recommendation of the land use plan, and we're just getting a late start on it. I'll move resolution 19107, authorization for administrator to enter into a contract for planning services.
Second.
Mr. Maloney?
Okay.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Thank you, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Darrell.
I appreciate your follow-up on Bancroft. Administrator.
Good evening, trustees.
Evening, Howard.
In front of the trustees is Resolution 19-108. This resolution would establish trick-or-treat being observed on Thursday, October 31st, between 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. In keeping with past practice, this would align the date on which trick-or-treat is observed within the township with the date upon which it's observed within the city of Sylvania. Thank you.
Is it coordinated with the city again?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I'll move resolution 19108, set the date for trick-or-treat.
Second.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Resolution 19-109 would authorize the employment of additional legal counsel by Sylvania Township of Malone, Ault, and Farell in order to represent the trustees and the township on issues of annexation and related matters. As trustees recall, an initial authorization was approved by the board for this purpose on May 7th for an hourly rate of $200 and a not-to-exceed amount of $10,000 for such services. Currently, the township has expended just over $8,000 in service under this prior authorization through the end of August. The expenditures incurred have been closely monitored, and in order to prepare for any work that may be needed to accomplish the objectives of the township, Resolution 19-109 has been drafted so that it would take immediate effect and permit up to an additional $10,000 in expenditures at the same hourly rate. Thank you.
Any questions? I'll move resolution 19109, resolution to authorize further engagement with our legal services in regard to annexation.
Second.
I'm shortening up what you've got there.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
And on Resolution 19-110, I'll defer to Director Anko. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Before you is Resolution 19-10, accept and approve Sylvania Township Health Insurance Committee's recommendation for renewal of the Berkley Life and Health Insurance. This is our medical stop loss carrier. Basically, on September 12th, the Insurance Committee met and voted to renew our stop loss policy with Berkley Ault Holdings. Their recommendation is now before the board. This is a captive stop loss plan, which we are enrolled in because we are self-funded or self-insured with health insurance. It provides a layer of protection from excessively high health care claims. Basically, this policy provides coverage when our claims reach the $70,000 threshold. The claims are then absorbed into a $250,000 corridor, a shared risk pool shared by 10 other employers. The shared risk pool provides not only protection from costly claims, but also the potential to receive refunds from the group if the group as a whole performs well. Of note, Highland estimated that our premiums for a stop-loss policy would have increased by 30 to 35% due to our 11 high-cost families this year had we not been in a shared risk pool. This policy renewal was aggressively shopped by Highland, and 3 other options were presented. The alternative carriers were not pursued in light of the multiple lasers assigned by those carriers. You ask, what is a laser? A laser is a separate deductible assigned to a specific member of our group based upon their medical condition. The member is identified and they are singled out due to their past month's claims experience. They're basically carved out of the group because of their future liability. A laser that is applied to one of our members is not favorable to Sylvania Township. It removes the protection of an insurance plan, and ultimately the township would be liable for potentially $200,000. Originally, Berkley was going to assign 3 lasers to our group. However, through negotiations, Jeff Barneski of Highland was able to successfully remove those lasers. The insurance committee therefore voted to renew our contract with Berkley with a 17.35% increase, which is good given our claims experience. And that is, again, a policy without lasers. Also, the quote was comparable to or lower than the other quotes received. And the other quotes, all 3 of them did include multiple lasers. So this year, just FYI, we received more reimbursements from Berkley than we have paid Berkley in premium. For example, I pulled the insurance file, and just in June alone, we received $151,121.62 in refunds. We need to renew with Berkley in order to receive continued reimbursements.
All right.
Okay?
Good work on that, Janet.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
I'll offer Resolution 19-110, accept and approve Sylvania Township's health insurance stop-loss coverage carrier.
Second?
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Job, Janet.
Do we have anyone signed in for non-agenda items? No. Thank you. We'll move on to the reports and discussion. Well, we're going to skip July. You sent that to us, and we'll just do the August reports. Road Department.
And then we got August's monthly report. It's up there. We completed some of our annuals, second round of our street sweeping, and 3rd round of our highway mowing, and right-of-way mowing in the township. And we did some in-house paving this year, about 3/4 of a mile internally. That's the first time we've done that in about 7 years. So it went pretty well. Most of those roads were not scheduled, but due to the condition were selected for large patches within them. And then we did the seal down and pavement. We contracted out the milling of the work, so we don't have the equipment to do that. And then our guys performed the actual paving and asphalt work. We did
quite a few storm sewer and catch basin repairs throughout the township, about 100 of those. We did contract out some work and helped out on that work in the standing timbers area for sidewalk, drive, and curb repairs. That's in preparation for next year's OPWC resurfacing project. And then we started crack sealing the administration parking lot. You can see the tickets on the Utilities Protection Service locates, and just some routine service department. We're still working on, I think we've completed all of the upgrades now on the light bar for the police department that they've purchased, except maybe 27, I think, still may be missing a piece. Needs it, 25? We did some training. We sent all the guys down to the engineers training site. I think it's just south of Findlay area, and they conducted trench safety with the operating engineers, OSHA, and Ohio Bureau of Workers' Compensation as part of that program as well. It was pretty successful. The guys enjoyed it. Page 2, some of the major projects. The OPWC project finally got underway. Contractor, Bowers Asphalt, started milling in the Manoa and Regents Park area off McCord, between Bancroft and McCord area. And they're going to get all new curb areas back there and new roads. So that project got started, which also encompasses the Wolfinger one, which I know a lot of people were paying attention to. That drainage project should be underway by the end of the month, and they don't seem to be on schedule to have it completed by the time we start assessing damages, but as we move along, we'll see how that project finishes up. The second resurfacing project that bid and sold this year, Bowers also received that. We pushed that date back, if you recall, to 1 July 2020 for a completion date, and they did confirm with me that they will not start that until spring, because they don't want to start it and get caught in the middle of winter. There's temperature requirements for certain things on the asphalt crew that they have to adhere to. Other than that, some of the other big ones, the curb repairs, the walk ADA upgrades, all our normal construction timelines were hit this summer, and that was completed. Some of the drainage improvement projects are encompassed into the OPWC project are still ongoing or in progress. Some of them that were completed were the Eisenbaum Ditch, the Eggman Ditch, and Black Oak detention easement area. That was a disaster over there. We completely cleared that out and removed all the garbage and debris in areas over there. That took us about a week. And then the crack seal program was completed. That was contracted out. We went on our own this year instead of cooperating with the county due to the costs that the county received, the pricing they received. We were able to opt out because the pricing came back 10% over the engineer's estimated cost, so that allowed us to opt out of that co-op. And I went out on our own and was able to contract out for better pricing. So that was completed. Other than that, I don't have anything else unless you have any questions.
Any questions for?
Just a quick one, Rob. Are there any counties still doing the chip and seal?
Yep, Fulton County still does it, Lucas County still does some chip seal.
So we have Meriwether and Silica Road, those are the only two test pilots that we had?
We did micro-sealing.
Oh, micro-seal, that's right.
Micro-sealing.
Micro-seal.
Micro-sealing, different process, we've only done those two. Years ago, we did other roads, Flanders Road, some of the roads off of North Flanders were done. A good example of what it would look like now after 5 or 6, 7 years is Gillhouse. So if you ever traveled down Gillhouse between Lasky or what is it, Talmadge and Flanders, you could look at that road and see, how it extended the life or didn't. To me, you're prolonging, you may extend the life of a road 7 years, but during that whole 7 years, these potholes persist and pop up and everything else. So that road is now scheduled for resurfacing, so.
Got it. Good work, Rob.
How's Cunningham Ditch, how's that going?
That's still in the works, that's still in the county's hands. The J. Cunningham ditch that's up there.
Is it in progress?
It's, the planning process is done, as far as I know now. It's just
Construction.
it will be bid and scheduled through Lucas County. Brian Miller will take care of that. So,
I'm glad to see you're doing some
yeah.
resurfacing with our own forces.
I didn't mention the brush.
That mileage up.
I didn't mention brush and household, but, that'll come in next report. But if you have any questions on that, like I said, we did an extraordinary haul this year. They just told me today it was 213 tons. So the last several years, it's been around 120 to 140. So we're going to take a look at the budget and go back, and we have to move some money around for that.
Good job, Ron.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fire? Hi, Chief.
Hi there. Hi, Mike.
Before you, the August monthly report. July and August were a blur for the fire department. We were quite busy in July. Thank God it did slow down in August a little bit. You'll see some of the numbers from 18 to 19 are down a little bit. Run volume was 533 in 18 and 498 in 19, so down just a little bit. Transports were down. For Medic 63, I had it out again for some slight repairs, so that brought that number down a little bit. As far as overtime, our overtime was still up. That's page number 7 in there. And unfortunately, I still have 4 people off on FMLA today. So very hard to figure out when guys are going to have families, are going to have more babies and stuff. So that's kind of been catching us a little bit. And kind of on Rob's thing, this was kind of a trying week for Sylvania Fire. We spent 14 hours on Monday night at Delta, then we had the plane crash on Tuesday with Springfield and Mount Clover, and unfortunately we had a fatal house fire on Friday, so it was kind of a trying week. I think the guys did an absolute fabulous job. I was the on-call chief, so I was with them on every one of the things that they had, but kudos to my fellows and ladies. They responded admirably all week long, so.
Any questions?
No, tough week.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks, Mike.
Chief.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, nothing too earth-shattering, which is good. August was, we only had 4 burglaries, which was great. 3 of the 4 were known suspects, so not a real problem there. Theft from motor vehicles are down. School started back in August. We made a point to get the signage board, message board out and about, reminding motorists and everything. You probably saw that around town. Then we moved down some different streets, King, McCord, and around the area. So we utilized that, and then we've got dispatch background checks undergoing right now. We gave our tests, so we're in the middle of trying to get that dispatcher spot filled that we're down. So overtime has subsided a little bit in dispatch right now, actually quite a bit, with vacations have stopped, and so we're able to absorb the shortage right now. But we'd like to get that dispatcher hiring trained before the holidays roll around, and vacation hits heavy in December and all that. So nothing too earth-shattering, which is, like I said, in police, that's good. Any questions?
Any questions for Chief?
I do not.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, Paul.
Fiscal. Dave?
Well, through August, expenditures would be about 67%. And you can see first, the budget should be at 67%, both revenue and expenditures. But if you look at our revenue, most of our money has come in that. As you can see, we're right around 90%, maybe a little over on our revenue. But our expenditures, and that's the thing to focus on, I think, and we are below the 67% in each one of our departments. And so I think we're doing well on monitoring our expenditures. And we're starting to get, we're 2/3 of the way through the year now, and things are taking shape just a little bit more. But I think that we're doing a good job on watching our expenditures. The employees in the departments are all very conscious of this. And so I think we're doing a good job. And so unless you have any questions for me, I don't really have anything else to add.
Any questions?
I do not.
No. I appreciate what the employees are doing, especially with the general fund.
Yes.
We had a few expenses we didn't anticipate, so I'm hoping we come out pretty good on that. Anything else? I guess not. I'll move adjournment at 5:25.
Second?
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes,
They're adjourned.
thank you.
Hey, Paul.